co-main event on the fight that Neil Magny wanted. He wanted Khamzat Chimaev, who is fighting Leon Edwards. That is the main event of that show, and I think that's going to be a great fight. Well, I think it's going to be exciting to watch. And I can't wait to see the difference of what occurs with Chimaev when he's fighting a guy who technically is really good in the stand-up.
What they were saying is that this is kind of a backup fight just in case something happens to the main event, so they can slide them up, which is smart. I mean, like we've seen Bellator do that a little bit because we work for them, so we've seen Bellator doing that as well, making sure that there's two fights that match up well, and so one of them falls off, they could try to slide one up and then pay the other guy out for his show money. Same thing here. I think it's smart on their part. Like if you don't want to lose your main event, you want to make sure that one of those main event fighters still is there, and so you can slide one of these guys up in there. I just wonder which one they'll slide up there. I think it'll be based on which guy falls off.
Which guy falls off?
Yes.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah. So, but as far as the Leon Edwards fight and the Chimaev fight, I mean, there's just not enough, I think, information on Chimaev for any.
Yes, there is.
For a top fighter.
Yes, there is.
Fighter to go, okay, look, I've seen you fight upper guys. I can see guys fight lower level guys all the time.
But if you're Leon Edwards, you cannot look at the fights that Chimaev has had in the UFC because he's fought higher level guys outside of the UFC. And you can go to some of those fights and watch those fights and see some of the things that you need to see that's going to give you information on, all right, here's a problem for him. Here's a problem for me. And you can start to get that game plan going, not on the fights that he's fought in the UFC. Go to outside, go to Brave, go to some of those and watch those fights. There's your information.
You're leaning towards Leon Edwards. I can just tell by the way you just said that. You're leaning towards Leon.
I'm not leaning towards anyone. I actually think it's, it really depends on Leon. If Leon comes out and is wanting to put Chimaev away fast and becoming emotional, he's going to lose the fight. If he comes out and just decides, I'm just going to touch this guy and keep touching him and keep him forcing things to occur that I'm going to take advantage of, and he can figure out what things those are, he's got a great chance of going home with the win in this fight. So, and that's any fight. I know I'm not giving a whole lot there, but Leon Edwards, stand-up wise, he understands how to set guys up. He's very good with range and getting a guy to feel like he can be attacked, having that guy make that attack, and that attack missing by a half inch, an inch, and he takes this little step off and he is cracking his opponent, making him pay for that attempt, which then tells the opponent, that hurt. I don't like that. Let me figure this out again. And now time is running by and he's still getting touched. Those are the things that someone with the stand-up skill and technical ability that Leon Edwards has can do in this situation, as long as he doesn't rush into trying to make something happen that doesn't need to happen in the first round of the fight.
I've trained with Leon Edwards. He is so fucking fast. Like, don't sleep on that speed to touch someone. He's not someone though too. He doesn't overcommit on things. He stays within his box. But like you said, if Chimaev gets under his skin at weigh-ins or the week of the fight, if he goes out there trying to get him out of there, it could work against him. I don't see that happening, but I have been around his brother and him quite a bit, and a lot of the guys from his team. They're at not London Shoebox. Anyways, from his team at Bellator fights. These guys, they come in with a swagger. They come in wanting to prove a point, and I don't want Chimaev to get under his skin and Leon go out there and do what he does. He's got to just stay composed and stick and move. And the openings will present themselves as you go. I think there's a lot. I don't want to say there's a lot of there's a lot of pressure on Leon, but not to finish the fight. There's a lot of pressure on Leon just to get the win because you're fighting someone who's considered to be like this new rising star, and Dana's giving him the push. I feel like there's more pressure on Chimaev because of all the talking he's done, all the stuff that's led up to him getting this high profile fight. He needs to go out there and show that what Dana said, or what he's been telling Dana, that he can actually do. There's not a lot of pressure on Leon. He's just got to get the win. Okay, I beat a relatively unknown guy. Cool. Like I said, winning solves everything. Just continue to win. You get into your spot. Keep moving up in your spot there, buddy. That's all Leon needs to do.
Yeah.
Let's go. What else?
Q&A or...
Did we talk about the Dan Hooker and Michael Chandler fight?
Not yet.
Oh, they finally have a fight for Michael Chandler.
It sounds like that fight's gonna happen. I've heard it's been rumored. They were talking about it yesterday that fight there's a potential of that fight happening. What is your take on this fight?
That's one of the tougher fights, I think, for Chandler in the lightweight division at the UFC. Hooker is long. Super long, and his stand-up is good. He's tough as nails. His takedown defense is actually really good. So Chandler's going to have to stand with him for a while. And if there's anything that we know, the camp that Hooker comes from, they're pretty good in the stand-up game. I don't know why, but some of those guys from there, they do pretty well. So not that Chandler cannot hurt him. He can hurt him to the body at times. We saw what Dustin Poirier was able to do later on in his fight with Hooker, going to the body. But this is a barn burner fight. This is a fight that I think is, exactly, if you're Michael Chandler, you got to love this matchup. You got to say, man, this is what I want to prove to everyone. I want to go out and show you how I can put it on this guy. And if you're Hooker, you want to go, I want to introduce you to the UFC and make you realize you made a huge mistake. So I think it's a great fight. I look forward to it.
Yeah, I think if you're going to talk about styles that Chandler would have some problems with, it would be someone like Dan Hooker. I look at it also too as I thought they were going to give him someone like a Charles Oliveira, which Charles was ranked number 5 at the time, and now he's ranked number 3. Tony slid down one, I think, to number 4, kind of in that mix. Pull up that division, can you? It's right there on the left. Yeah. In that division, he's not going to fight Conor. Conor's not going to fight him. I mean, I should say that Conor's not going to fight him. Oliveira makes sense. Dustin's fighting Conor. I thought maybe a Justin Gaethje fight would have done, but here's the other thing. People were hitting me up. People were criticizing what I was saying about why are they going to give him this guy? Why are they going to give him that guy? He hasn't even fought in the UFC. It has nothing to do with that. It has to do with the fact that they are paying him a lot of money.
And it's his resume from before. It says a lot.
I don't even look at I know you do. And and I understand that. And that's kind of why they paid him the amount of money.
That's right. Him. That's why he got the money he's getting.
But you have to remember that, look, it's a business decision. When you pay someone that much money, you're not paying him to fight the guys outside the top 15. You're not even in the top. You got it outside the top 10. No, if I'm going to pay you this amount of money, it's a sink or swim. You're either going to fight the top guys or we're going to dock your pay. And it's no different at a normal job at corporation, right? The more money you make, the more responsibility you're going to have to do shit. If it ain't getting done, guess what? You're out of here. So that's what's going on. When he came over, the money was a factor. He wanted to go. Bellator didn't want to pay him what he wanted, so he came to the UFC. UFC paid him, and these are the type of fights he's going to have to fight. I was thinking he was going to get maybe like a Charles Oliveira, Paul Felder, or a Kevin Lee. I thought maybe even a Dos Anjos fight. Dan Hooker, to me, is going to be harder for him to take down because he's so tall, the wide base against the fence. But I think on the top position, Dan's going to have a hard time, man. If Chandler gets on top of him, Chandler's just nasty on top. Elbows, huge power.
If Chandler is smart, looking at this fight saying, I'm not worried about going out there and knocking Dan Hooker out. Goes out and says, I'm going to utilize what brought me to the dance first. I still have a very solid wrestling background. I'm good at taking people to the ground. Let me get into this guy. Let me put him on the ground and let me just beat on him because I'm going to degrade him. I'm just going to make him feel everything. I'm going to put pressure on him, make him work hard, keep him on his back, let him try to work hard to get up, almost kind of give it to him and then take him right back down. All of those things will make Michael Chandler a winner in this fight.